Those first few days at Camp Campbell, Kentucky had gone so well. There I was, assigned to a company, to look forward to being stateside and with my family for at least 6 months, and it indicated a year. Made the Korean War look a lot better to me than it did. Our guys had been getting hit and hit hard over there in Korea. It was not a good war. Well, you know, it was only a police action at that time. We weren't really committed to it. A lot of similarity in that sense to the situation we've had in Iraq and Afghanistan. Yeah, the kids, they have to be committed. They're on the ground. They're in the ships. They're in the airplanes. But the country wasn't really committed, and the country's not really committed now. But here I was, assigned to a company, on post, had found housing, had my wife on the way. Things are looking up. Going to be all right, at least for a while. Well, Lieutenant Bunn and his wife Ann had become good friends of ours down at San Antonio, and had a little free time. I suppose it was a Saturday. Don't really know. But Lieutenant Bunn was taking his, they'd gotten a new car, taking his car down to get it registered. And I was riding with him. And to the left of us as we were driving, and of course he's to my left since he's driving, he was looking and he suddenly said, "Oh my God, look at that." Saw my first 2 people die. You know death's a part of life, but as a soldier, to see 2 fellow soldiers die right in front of your eyes, it hurt me, scared me. And in fact, it got me to thinking that, doggone, you had that easy jump out of that nice boxcar type plane, but you're going to have to make your jumps out of the 46s and 47s there. That's the backbone of the transportation of paratroopers. So I inquired as to what had happened with those boys, and was told that they probably didn't exit properly. Well, I didn't have to make a very proper exit out of that shaped plane. So I got to worrying whether or not on my jumps I would be doing the exit right and have good jumps. Well, I find out very shortly thereafter that I'm scheduled to jump again in Armed Forces Day. And it turns out that I find housing, and Donna will get there the Friday evening before the Armed Forces jump on Saturday. Observation of Armed Forces, what we now call Military Appreciation Days. Well, that jump turned out to be a bad one, but the worst thing that's happened, though, was that I got all shook up inside and afraid that you won't do it right and you're going to get hurt jumping. But I'm no coward. I like jumping. I'm going to jump. So that's not a question. But boy, when I also found out that, I'd always heard the soldiers say, never believe anything you're told in the Army. The Army will tell you one thing and do another. They'll ask for volunteers for truck drivers, and you put your hand up and they give you a wheelbarrow. Well, I hadn't had that experience. The Army that I had known had been good to its word. And when they make the second jump in 10 days, my wife's gotten there the day before, and the military's putting money into moving her. Our goods were already being packed up and were on the way. Confused me, I suppose angered me. And it cost me a military retirement, because by the time I had served my time then in Korea and came back, when they asked me to sign over into the reserves, well, as a matter of fact, they told me I had to be in the reserves, and I said, well, how do I get out? Because I decided I don't want any more of the Army. They said, just don't go to any meetings. In about a year and a half, you'll get a notice that you're no longer an active reservist. That's how it was, and that was one of the silliest decisions I ever made in my life. Silliest and costliest.